welcome back to my channel. Today is foundation week day 2. So if you haven't caught up on day 1 where I reviewed the Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation, then go ahead and check the description box for the link and check it out. So today we are gonna be reviewing the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear 24-hour wear and comfort retouch free foundation. So this is how it looks. Let me bring you guys in closer on the foundation. This is it. The packaging is quite beautiful. It's quite luxurious. I really like it. And that's a rose there on the cover. And the best thing is that this foundation has a pump. So that's a win. It's mess free when a foundation comes with a pump. So that's always a plus. My shade is in the shade 09 Cookie, I believe. Okay, so I got my foundation at the 25th type. I got it at 5,500. That's how much this foundation costs. On the official website, I believe it's $47. So for the 25th type to be selling it at 5,500, I think that's actually an excellent price. It's also available at Madora. I saw it when I was buying a few other foundations, but unfortunately I didn't check how much it was. So I'm not sure how much Madora sells it at, but the 25th type sells it for 5,500. So the first thing I'm gonna start off with, of course, is a primer. A good base. We get a good base under the foundation to give it the best possible chance. So you guys already know the drill. One side of the face we're gonna use a brush, and the other side of the face we're gonna use a sponge, just to test the blendability of the foundation with each of these tools. So I'm gonna start with the brush. This shade matches me spot on. Like, I mean spot on. Look at the coverage. Look at that coverage. It's excellent. It's actually so excellent. That's just one layer, guys. I've just done one simple quick layer and I've gotten some mad coverage. Mad coverage. So that's what we have. Like I said, guys, that foundation match is really good. So this side is done. It's more or less actually covered my blemishes, except just a little bit. Just they're coming through, but very slightly. Let me bring you guys in. That's how we're looking. That's a beautiful finish. So let's talk about the smell. Again, I guess it's like a trend with these high-end foundations. They have a very light fragrance, like a fragrance from far, and then it just smells like a skincare product. That's how I would say the smell is. So you don't get anything overpowering. If you don't like your foundations having scents, then this one won't bother you at all. In fact, I'm really trying to get the smell. So now I'm going in on the other side with a sponge. So that's the coverage we have with the sponge. It's also amazing coverage. Let me come in a bit closer. It's not as great as with the brush because you can really see my dark spots coming through. However, the sponge has given me a more natural finish than the brush. So with the brush, it still looks natural. I think this is a very natural looking foundation. It's not a foundation that's it's giving you coverage, but then it's not heavy. Even the consistency is actually not a heavy consistency. And again, which I'm noticing is a trend with these foundations, the high-end foundation, you won't feel the foundation on your face. You actually don't feel the foundation on your face at all. It's like you haven't put on anything. But this is the difference. The difference is very slight. I think the sponge just absorbs a little bit more of the product. So if you want something really full coverage, I say go in with a brush, blend in with a brush. But then if you want something more that looks more skin-like, and just looks like your skin but better, then go in with a sponge. It's just that you might have to go in maybe with 2 layers instead of 1. So I'm gonna add another layer, but this time I'm just gonna use the sponge. This foundation is just stunning to look at. It's actually just so stunning to look at. I think also because it's matched me beautifully. The undertone, the skin tone, it's just a perfect match. Perfect. Now I'm gonna add another very light layer, just as usual on the areas where my blemishes really come through. So obviously this foundation is quite buildable, and when I say buildable, I mean a foundation that you can build up to the coverage you want without your face looking or feeling cakey. So this foundation still feels really nice and light, or non-existent actually, even when you layer it up. The high-end foundations, guys, have been treating me well, because I actually used to be of the opinion that when we buy high-end foundations, you know, we're just buying the name, we're just spending that money because, you know, the brand is a luxurious brand. But I think the high-end foundations actually have a lot more to offer than more affordable foundations. I've become a convert. So let me come in closer. You guys can see that foundation actually just looks like my skin. Just looks like my skin, but better. I've actually noticed that that's a trend with these high-end foundations. They give you a very natural finish despite them having good coverage. So like, I would say this is a full coverage foundation, buildable. It might not be full on, but it's buildable to a really full coverage, and you don't feel it on your skin, and it also doesn't make your skin look cakey or overdone. I think you guys can see that for yourselves. Okay, so let's do a quick side-by-side. So the foundation has dried down. I wouldn't say like to a 100% matte finish, but I would say still that it's a matte finish. I think on the website it says that it dries down to a natural second skin like matte finish, and I 100% agree with that. So it's kind of matte, but then like some areas haven't don't look completely matte or haven't dried down completely matte, especially this area. But the second skin like thing is absolutely 100% true. So if you're looking for a foundation that just literally looks like your skin but better, this could be it. This could be the foundation for you. This is stunning. So there are a couple of extra things I want to mention about the Lancome foundation. First of all, it has SPF 15. That's actually really good. That's decent. But like I've said before, it's better still, even if your foundation has SPF, that you yourself take care of your own SPF by wearing sunscreen before you get into your foundation. The other thing I want to mention about this foundation is that it's non-comedogenic, which means if you have acne prone skin, if you have acne, if you have sensitive skin, then this is not going to aggravate your skin. It's not going to make things worse for you. It's dermatologically tested. So the ingredients in here are safe for you if you have acne, if you have acne prone skin, or if you have sensitive skin. So I'm gonna quickly do the rest of my makeup and then I'll be back. Okay guys, I have done the rest of my makeup. Nothing special because the star has to be the foundation today. So I'm gonna keep this foundation on all day and then come and give you guys feedback at the end of the day. I'm not gonna touch up or anything like that. The way I come at the end of the day is just, when I leave here, I'm not touching it up again. What I want to do though is to do another transfer test just to see if the foundation will transfer when I've layered, because I put concealer under my eyes. I've also put setting powder, so let's just see how that's gonna go. Perfect. Perfect. Woo! So there's no transfer this time. Let's try this side. Okay, yeah, we're good. We're good. In terms of how the foundation feels after I've layered products over it, it still feels really good. It doesn't feel like I have foundation on my face. It actually feels, you know, those foundations that you can actually end up just touching your face during the day because you completely forget you have foundation on. That's this foundation. So it looks stunning, guys. This foundation looks stunning. So I'm gonna see you guys in a couple of hours and we'll do a side-by-side to compare and see how this foundation wears throughout the day. Hi guys, I'm back. Haven't touched up a thing, not even what I had on my lips. It's been about 5 hours, I want to say almost 6 hours since I had this foundation. I haven't touched it up, and today in Nairobi, like, there was actually a bit of sun. Today is Sunday, so the foundation got to see the sun, and this is how we're looking. Before I even proceed, let's do a quick side-by-side of how I look now versus how I look when I first completed my makeup. Enough said or seen. In the side-by-side, this foundation has actually held up quite beautifully. I'm looking at myself in my small mirror, and I actually can't believe how good this foundation looks. This foundation has actually not moved at all. You know how sometimes, like, during the day your foundation can get a bit oily and then it moves in some places? Yeah, nope, that's not happened with this one. There's definitely a bit of creasing here. Let me bring you guys in. There's a bit of creasing here, but that's obviously because, you know, talking, we were in church, we were singing, you know, so that's bound to happen with the smile lines and all that. I mean, with the smiling. So that's usually a non-issue for me. It's bound to happen with, like, all foundations. This just looks beautiful. It's actually, I can continue this foundation on into the night, like, for real. Guys, I don't know what else to say. This foundation is perfect. It's actually perfect. I want to test and see whether it's gonna transfer though at the end of the day. So let's check on that transfer. There's a little bit of transfer for sure. There's a little, I don't even think it's gonna be seen on camera because the transfer is actually not, it's nothing crazy. Let me put it in my T-zone, you see. Okay, there's definitely a bit of transfer. This isn't like the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation where there's no transfer whatsoever. There's a bit of transfer. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a bit of transfer. Honest to God, this isn't something that would dissuade me from buying this foundation because the transfer is literally nil. So this foundation has 40 shades, so you're quite likely to find your shade. I don't know how many shades they have for women of color, specifically black women, but they actually did a really beautiful campaign on the 40 shades where they had like 40 women representing each of the shades, talking about what they do. It was a really nice, really nice campaign. But yeah, it has 40 shades. So yeah, my verdict, would I repurchase? Absolutely. So I think we talked about the coverage, that it's quite full coverage. We talked about the consistency, how it feels on the skin. It's very light, very light on the skin. You actually feel like you have no foundation on, nothing on, even after I layered products on top. The other products I layered were concealer, setting powder, and then an overall powder. I did some blush, I did some highlighter, and still my face doesn't feel cakey, doesn't look cakey, it doesn't feel like I have anything on. We talked about the smell. It has a very slight skincare like smell. We've talked about the transfer, that if you don't set the foundation with a powder, there's a bit of transfer. Again, nothing crazy. We've talked and then when you set it with a powder, when you first do your makeup, there's absolutely no transfer. Then after a couple of hours, there's just a little bit of transfer, which could be more if you have oily skin, because when you press the phone or whatever it is, or you're hugging someone and you have oily skin tends to foundation on oily skin can transfer a little bit more. Does it oxidize? Absolutely not. It looks exactly the way it did when I first applied it. I think I talked about the other properties it has, like the SPF 15, and that it's non-comedogenic, which means it's good for acne prone skin, people with acne, and people with sensitive skin. Ease of application, it was very easy to apply both with a sponge and with a brush, so it's up to you, personal preference. You'll more or less get the same coverage with both tools. And then we've talked about how it has worn throughout the day, just a little bit of creasing around my smile lines because of talking and laughing. Now, in terms of it being suitable for different skin types, I would actually say this foundation is suitable for all skin types, starting with sensitive skin, acne prone skin, and people who have acne, because like I've said, this is like the 10th time, it's non-comedogenic. It is dermatologically tested, so the ingredients they've used here won't cause you to break out. What else? So for dry skin, I would recommend for sure. Unlike the Estee Lauder one, this one doesn't like dry down to a complete matte finish, so you won't get dry patches with it. As long as you moisturize as usual, prime as usual, you'll be good to go. Oily skin, you're good to go with this foundation as well, but you're definitely gonna have to blot at some point, especially some areas could get a bit shiny. I wouldn't say like crazy oily, but they could get a bit shiny, so you'll maybe need to take a tissue maybe after a couple of hours, but it can hold up. In fact, I think if you have oily skin and you use a good oil control primer, or in fact do the powder before foundation method, you could actually get away with not blotting your skin the whole day, depending on how oily your skin is. But yeah, final thoughts, would I repurchase this foundation? Absolutely, 100 times, absolutely. If you guys have used the Lancome Teint Idole foundation, give us your review in the comments down below, especially if you have very oily skin, and also if you have really dry skin. Tell us how the foundation performed for you throughout the day, what you like about it and what you didn't like about it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to foundation week day 2. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow for the 3rd day of foundation week. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button just in case you're not subscribed, so that every time I upload a video you get it, and you have to turn on your bell in the corner there. Thanks guys so much for watching. Bye.